What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com. Cheers to Wednesday morning. It is the 29th of October. No, wait, 28th of October. Excuse me, getting ahead of myself. Tomorrow's the 29th. And we are going to do basically a follow up to the video that I did late last night, giving you a couple of free plays on some weekend college football action. Both underdogs gave out one play for Friday night for Friday night football, and then one play for Saturday football. Going to be focused just on Saturday football again. I was looking at four. Technically, I was looking at 5 games. 4 I had circled. 2 of which are just not enough information out for me to make a solidified decision on. So I'm still waiting on some information. But 2, after a couple hours of research before I went to bed last night, finally got everything that I was looking for as far as information goes, locked in my bets first thing this morning, and here we are. It is just before 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and I have got 2 more underdogs, and I'm still looking at the other one, so hopefully that information will come out later today. I am hoping that way I can get those out tonight or first thing Thursday morning. That way we can still get them in plenty of time before I start jumping over just to focus on the NFL and seeing if we can lock in some nice underdogs there. So again, if you did not catch yesterday's video that I did Tuesday night, make sure you click the link in the description below. There is a link to that video so you can catch it. Like I said, there's 2 free plays. We went over some sales that we have going on this week. What we've got is a couple of things that are early birds and something that we've never done before. So one of the things being the early bird is the college football, or the college basketball season. And one thing that I also forgot to mention, so everybody knows that my college basketball season is usually $2,000. Last year I actually dropped it to $1,500 because we came out with a combo pass involving college basketball and the NBA. So we were going to keep that for this year, but being with COVID and just everybody kind of wondering what's going to be next and elections coming up, all that stuff, make sure you get out and vote. I decided that this year I was going to drop that price. Instead of doing $1,500, and I talked to a colleague of mine, and he agreed that for this year and this year only, we were going to make the price. Instead of doing $1,500, we were going to make it, $1,000, $1,200, something like that. But for early bird special, we've got just over 3 weeks before the college basketball season kicks off and gets into full swing, and the season this year is going to start out much faster than it normally does. Usually for the first 7 to 10 days you have all those tournaments going on, the Maui Invitational, you've got stuff going on in Myrtle Beach, you've got stuff going on in LA. None of that's going to happen this year due to COVID. They're not going to bubble those teams up and do all that and then try to get back on a regular season schedule. So what's going to happen is from day one, you are going to start your season schedule, every team, and they are going to really push those kids hard this year. So we're going to have 7 days of college basketball action every single week. If you want to get it at a 50% discount, you can get the entire season, every premium and daily top play from day one tip-off all the way through March Madness for $499. Go to chasewins.com and get it. It's on the purchase page. You'll see it. It says very limited time price at the end of this weekend. So come Sunday, that price is going to go back up to its 1,000. It's not going to come back down from there because we will have the season beginning in just a few weeks. We've already got people signing up now. If you know that you're going to be getting the college basketball season because you know what we do in college basketball, listen, if you guys want to wait till the beginning and pay more, that's your prerogative. Don't spend more money than you have to. One thing that I did not mention is since we are getting to about the halfway point of the college football season, college football is going to be extended out farther because we just did now have the Big Ten start, so we've still got a full slate of games for those. But we're right about the halfway point, maybe just right there before it. I have dropped the price of the college football season, to half price. $500 you can get that. We are absolutely rolling in college football. Last week gave out 4 free predictions, or 5 technically, if you want to count the lean that I gave out, all underdogs in college football last week, absolutely for free. Every single one of them cashed. Every single one of the underdogs won outright. Most of them by a pretty substantial margin. So we're doing that the same thing this week. Do not miss out on that deal. I did the same thing for NFL, and we are not at the halfway point of NFL yet. There is a ton of NFL action left. We are about 35% through the season, right at 40%. You can get that as well through the weekend or up until kickoff on Sunday for the same price. And then the other special that we've got going on is something brand new that we have never done, and that is people were wanting me to, everybody wants to be an all access member. Everybody hears us talking about it. People know what we're about. They'll go out and buy a week pass or a month pass, and then they'll also purchase games of the week, games of the month, games of the year separately, and they know what it's about. But of course, they get a little bit gun shy. This is the first time they're going to make a true long term investment. I've finally gotten through to them that this is not for fun. This is not gambling. This is not betting. This is investing. This is short term, day to day trading with long term investments trickled along the way. Another one which we won on the LA Dodgers at 10-1 odds because we placed that bet the day after the World Series ended in 2019 for the Dodgers to win it all in 2020. I never veered away from that bet, not once, not even for a minute, and they cashed in late last night. So congratulations to the Dodgers, well deserved. But what we've got is people have said, listen, we want to do an all access pass shorter term. Let us dip our toes in the water. Let us see what it's about before we spend the $4,000, even though we know it's a good deal, because just to get a normal 7-day pass, it's $100. That doesn't include game of the week, game of the month, game of the year. That doesn't include NASCAR. That doesn't include international sports. That doesn't include horse racing. It doesn't include all these extras and the new stuff that we're getting ready to release. And if you just did a week pass, week to week, well, there's 52 weeks in a year. You'd spend $5,200 just doing that. And you don't even get all of the extras, and you don't get all of the major top plays. All you get is daily top plays. So why not spend the $4,000 and get absolutely everything? But I understand. You've never made a long-term investment like that. You want to dip your toes in the water, see what it's all about. I've been reluctant to release anything like this. Again, talking to my colleague and my partner, we decided to do something on this as well by doing a 1-month all access pass. Now, I don't know what the price of this 30-day all access pass is going to be yet. I would imagine it's going to be somewhere around $750. Again, it could be a little bit more because, again, you got to think about it. You are going to get for 30 days every single thing that is released on ChaseWins.com. Every premium play, every daily top play, every sport, every game of the week, game of the month, game of the year if we have one, horse racing if there is some, NASCAR every weekend. You're going to get international sports when we have them, any futures prediction, prop bets, special packages. I mean, there is absolutely nothing you will not have access to when you are an all access member. And when you are an all access member, there is no upsell. There is nothing that I would release that you would have to purchase on top of it. If we release something new, if we get into something else, if I release something bigger than I ever have before, it is in your terms and conditions that all access members will automatically gain access to it. No additional charge, period. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it will always be. So what we're going to do for this week only, since this is a brand new thing, before we make it a full-time offer, where you can always get this to test out the all access pass before you jump on a 1 year. You can get it for $499. That is valid for this week only. It is on the site right now. When you go to chasewins.com and go to the purchase page, all you have to do is go to where it says 30-day all access membership. The price is already set, and like I said on Sunday, that will go up to what we decide that normal price is going to be every month. So make sure you jump on that. That way, for all the people that are wanting to get on that all access membership, you can do so for 1 month. Now, I did say that I was going to take 3 people who emailed me or DM'd me, and people that know what the all access is all about. They want to jump on or extend their 1 year for that same price, that $500. I will be going through on Thursday and choosing those 3 people, hand selecting them. I'm going to go through, take all the emails, all the DMs, everything, put all the names in a hat. I'm going to draw them at random. So if you have not shown your interest by emailing me, telling me you want it, DMing me on Twitter, make sure you do so, because on Thursday, I'm going to choose 3 people. That's going to be my last little, post-COVID big deal for you guys. And other than that, there will not be any more discounts on all access stuff until at least the end of the year, where we do our New Year stuff. So make sure you jump on that. And I think that is all that we've got as far as promos and stuff going on. So let's jump on some free plays. But like I said, if you have not seen the 2 free play Underdog free plays that I gave out on Tuesday night, click the link in the description in this video and it will take you to that other video. And those again are for Friday and Saturday. We're going to do 2 plays for Saturday. First one. A lot of people aren't going to like this play. Texas, Oklahoma State. Texas on the road playing against Mike Gundy's team, a team that was for, I guess, not the best of reasons, kind of in the media during the offseason. Gundy's out there making stupid choices, stupid decisions. This team sucks on defense. They just do, let's face it. Texas isn't much better, but Texas is a better team than Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State was portrayed in the media in the offseason as being this offensive powerhouse. And don't get me wrong, the Big 12 is always known for its offense, not its defense. You have teams that can put up 80 points, but teams that couldn't stop a high school team from putting up 50 points. Oklahoma State is the poster child for that. They'll put up points with the best of them, but they can't stop anyone. I think we're going to see that against Texas this week. If you look on paper and you look at what's going on this season and you look at just the talent gap, if you really match up position for position, then you would say Oklahoma State is the better team. Or at least, maybe not by a huge margin, because a lot was expected out of Texas this year. But Texas has not lived up to its potential, not even for 1 week, in my opinion. But if you look at the style of play, which is very similar, but then you look at the way that both teams handle themselves when they're in a tough situation, when they're having to adjust, when they're having to go out there and kind of change their game plan to say, okay, this isn't working. We now have to make an adjustment and do something different or else we're going to get clobbered. Texas does it pretty well. Oklahoma State doesn't. They can't. If they try, they fail miserably, and that's always been the way the Mike Gundy era has gone for them. He cannot have a team adjust on the fly and make changes. He never has. He never will. Same thing kind of goes for Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma team, who is a much better coach, offensive genius. His team cannot switch things up. Now, in the Jalen Ramsey days, Jalen could sometimes change some things up, utilize his legs, then utilize his arm, go back and forth there because he was a true dual threat. But that's a whole different, that doesn't mean the same thing. You're looking at 2 teams that have talented offenses and below average defenses, in my opinion. But I think that Texas, if you like I said, you look at position for position, talent, player for player, you would give the edge to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's also at home. Texas, in my opinion, is a better road team than they are a home team. And again, this year, unless you're getting into a whole different elements because of weather or things like that, home field doesn't mean much this year, especially at some schools. Now, when you're talking about Oklahoma State and Texas, you're going to have some fans there. These fans are very passionate. Oklahoma, what else do you have? I just don't see that home field being enough. I think that the coaching staff is much better at Texas. And like I said, I think that when Oklahoma State starts this game, they should be the ones that start out quick and be able to gain, and build some momentum, maybe separate themselves a little bit. But with the best of them in the Big 12, which isn't saying much, I would say with the best in the country, Texas can adjust, make changes, and kind of start a whole new game plan, and they can do it on the fly. So if they do that, which I believe they will because they'll have to, I think they'll find success. That's going to catch Oklahoma State off guard. I think that that's going to give the chance for that offense to show some weakness and become a little bit vulnerable. Texas will be able to really ramp up their blitz because they are very good at blitzing and really going for the quarterback. If they can get past the D-line, which for Oklahoma State, or the offensive line for Oklahoma State, which is nothing special, They get to that quarterback a handful of times. That right there is going to rattle them. That's going to allow that offense to gain some rhythm, come back, and be right back in it. What's going to happen in a game like this, which still is a rivalry game? That's when you're going to see Oklahoma State try to make some adjustments, and they're going to fail miserably at it, which will allow Texas to ease back into their original game plan, take the lead, create a little separation, and Oklahoma State will do what they do best. And every time that happens, they will fall apart. I think Texas is the better team. Again, that's me going off of what I see versus just looking on paper. I think they're the better team in this situation. I think the coaching staff is night and day. I think Texas plays better when they're away from home and they're out of their comfort zone. And I just think that catching 3.5, we're getting value. When I broke this game down, I broke it down about 15 different ways. Every time, the best I can give Oklahoma State is laying a point, period. I've got Texas laying a 1.5. I've got Texas laying a point. I've got it at dead even. And even giving Oklahoma State every benefit of the doubt and giving them a point for home field, which I don't want to do in this situation because of the circumstances. I don't have Oklahoma State laying more than a point to a 1.5. 3.5 is too much. Even if this game was 3, I would still take Texas. I sprinkled just a little bit on the money line because we're getting it at plus $1.45, which is great value and what I think is the better team. But if you really want the true free play here, the free play, take the 3.5 points. If you're getting it at 3, take it. 3.5 is a gift. It really is. Take the 3.5 points, stick them in your back pocket because this game ending by a field goal in the final seconds could very well happen. So even if Oklahoma State were to pop one through the uprights to end the game, we have the half point to back it up. But what I would do, let's say that you're going to wager $100 or to win $100 on this one, and you're going to take Texas plus 3.5. Take $50, take the plus $1.45, and sprinkle just a little bit on Texas on the money line to win outright. Because just ever so slightly, I have them as not only the better team, but the team with the upper hand this week. So that's your free play. Texas plus 3.5 with a little bit sprinkled on the money line. Now we're going to jump into one more. This is one that you guys may dislike this play even more, but Kansas State's on the road going up against West Virginia, and I'm taking Kansas State plus 4. Kansas State, again, I know that it's a flash in the pan. As good as Kansas State has looked all year, and they've looked great, they're not that good of a team. As good as they've looked, they're not as good as they've looked. It's a little bit of an illusion. But West Virginia, as bad as they've looked, are worse. Right now, Kansas State, if for nothing else, is just clicking on all cylinders, and West Virginia has yet to find their identity for this year. West Virginia goes out there and gets trounced one more game, they're going to pack it in for the season. They're already focusing on next year. You hear more from West Virginia right now about 2021 recruiting and what they hope to do than the games going on this weekend. Tell me the last time you've heard that out of West Virginia. A team that's not only a contender in the Big 12 year in and year out, who's always one of the most, always in the top 10 when it comes to explosive offenses. They always have a dual threat quarterback that can sling the ball and put up 70 points a game. And they always are a team that no matter who they're playing or where they're playing at, can win at any given time, no matter how good their opponent is. But they're also a team, fundamentally, they've never been a good program. They're good in ways that most teams can't be good. But where teams shine and where you really find true talented top teams is teams that are good when it comes to airing the ball out 60 yards, good in going up and putting up 300 yards on the ground a game. But it all comes back to fundamentals. If you are not a fundamentally sound football team, you can't be expected to truly be a top team. And this year, out of any team in the Big 12, fundamentally, Kansas State Wildcats have looked like the most fundamentally sound team out there. Better than Texas, better than Oklahoma, better than Oklahoma State, better than Kansas. Right now, they're playing smash mouth fundamental football, which you don't see much in college football anymore. because of the fact that you have dual threat quarterbacks on every team. Right now, the only teams that I've seen that have looked fundamentally sound, and I mean true old school fundamentals, Ohio State in game one, I'll hand it to Clemson. They're pretty fundamental, or at least can be. They haven't had to be this year. Alabama, Ole Miss, believe it or not, Kansas State. Kansas State is a better team than West Virginia this year. They're not as good as they've looked, but West Virginia is worse than they've looked. I think that Kansas State in this game, being the fact that they're on the road, and yes, you are going to go into a somewhat hostile territory in West Virginia, even if they only put 30 people in the stands. These are a different breed of folks. I still have Kansas State laying a point and a half. If you want to give the benefit of the doubt and you want to give even 3 points, home field for them, then you're still not going to be laying 4. I'm going to take Kansas State because, truth be told, if you really, really want to break this down and give them an advantage where they deserve it and not when they don't, I see this game as a dead even game, if not West Virginia laying a point at best. And that right there is just because right now their backs are truly against the wall because they have gone out there and underperformed a lot more than anyone expected. I'm taking the 4 points in Kansas State. That is your second underdog pick for the day. So that now is 4 for the week that I've given out. And I'm going to have at least one more in college football. And then we'll jump onto the NFL. So again, it's Wednesday morning. I'll have another play coming out, or plays coming out this afternoon or this evening or on Thursday morning. So hopefully we'll get at least 1 or 2 more underdog picks that I can solidify in college football. And some of these may end up on the premium card, guys. If they do, I'm not going to say it because that's for the premium clients. But just like last week, Pittsburgh Steelers ended up on the premium card. Easy win. We're going to get into the NFL after that. Just like every week, I feel like there's at least 1 to 2 underdogs that are just the line's dead wrong, great market value. And just like every single week in the NFL, we've capitalized on at least 2 underdogs, whether they be free plays or premium investments. And we've cashed in on every single one of them but one. So make sure you tune in. Click the link in the description below. Go watch the last free play video that I did. You'll have 2 more underdog picks absolutely free. Go jump on the 1 month all access pass, the college football or the college basketball season for 50% off an already discounted price. And make sure you get ready because there will be at least 1, if not 2, very big top plays this weekend, just like we had last weekend. We cashed in on our game of the month in the NFL on the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers over. It was an easy win. It cashed with 8 minutes to go in the game. And this week, if every single thing pans out, I know that we'll have at least a game of the month. And I'm crossing my fingers hoping that the market provides us some more value because we could go from game of the month to potential game of the year. You know how rare that is. So make sure, because if you are on an all-access pass, whether it be a month or a year, you get those absolutely free. Otherwise, you can purchase it separately. I love you guys. I will see you back either tonight or first thing Thursday morning, and we'll do some more underdogs. See you guys.